Hello. Today, we're going to talk about a clinical practice guideline on the prevention of catheter-associated urinary tract infections, or CAUTIs. CAUTIs are just one example of a clinical practice guideline that's used in the electronic medical record at the system that I work for. It's estimated that 17 to 69% of CAUTIs may be preventable with recommended infection control measures, and that was per a study by Tran that was done in 2023. On the right-hand side, you can see our dashboard. That was our CAUTI infection rate. So we were up around 2.18 in December of 2022. So the first thing that we did was we took catheter care and peri-care out of the patient care tech hands and put it back in nursing's hands. Our goal was to have a 0% zero harm, and that's from our system that our goal was going to be for. So once we took it out of the hands of the patient care tech, we did see a little bit of a decrease, but not a lot. So we looked at evidence and we did a lit search, and we rolled out a lot of education to the staff nurses on proper care of the catheter and peri-care itself. We began to see a little bit of a drop each month consistently, but nothing that was drastic. And so the next thing that I did was I got with the informatics team, and the catheter associated urinary tract infection bundle that you see on the right hand side was actually a paper form, but it wasn't used consistently. It wasn't convenient for staff nurses. So we got that implemented and we got that integrated into the electronic medical record. Once we got that integrated into the electronic medical record, nurses started using it more consistently because it was readily available for them. The next thing I did was I got with inpatient nursing, and we implemented a catheter hour. And so between the times of 5:30 and 7, morning and night, nurses were assigned a buddy. And if you had a patient with a catheter, you and the buddy would go during that hour and a half and would actually do peri-care and Foley care and make sure that everything was clean and it all looked good and was properly working and secured and that sort of thing. Once we did that and we integrated all three of those things, the electronic medical record integration, the buddy process, and nurses taking ownership of the process, we begin to see great strides. And as you can see, by June of 2023, we were down less than 1%. By July of 2023, we were at 0%, and we've been at 0% ever since July of 2023. So it's been well over a year. Very proud of everybody. The nurse-driven process. So you can see that on the left-hand side. Does the patient have a urinary catheter? If they do, yes. Okay. Is it indicated? And you can see in the big blue box what the indications are. If yes, proceed as normal. Same care, everything. If not, the nurse can discontinue the order. They can discontinue the Foley. They notify the provider that the patient no longer met criteria to have a urinary catheter. And then they move over to the post-removal indwelling catheter algorithm. That algorithm is actually part of the order set in the electronic medical record that utilizes best practice for urinary catheter insertion and maintenance. And that order set provides autonomy for nurses to decide if a Foley is needed, if they need an in and out catheter, or if no further intervention is needed. This also is discussed daily in our multidisciplinary rounds and any time that there's a change in the patient condition. So one thing I wanted to touch on was, is there an app for that? Well, of course there is. One app that is very useful that our congestive heart failure nurse navigator uses is called Heart Failure Manager. And what this does is it integrates the patient and the provider through their smartphone. It addresses things like daily weights, their intake, are they having shortness of breath, they have any questions about their medication. It also gives good resources for tracking their progress and symptoms by using a daily journal, and then connects the patient with the provider so symptoms can be managed between visits and prevents readmissions in many cases. This is just an app that is useful. I thought I'd share it and let you take a look at it, and I hope it was meaningful to you. So I want to thank you for your time. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer anything. Have a good evening.